It is a day she will want to remember. One truly carefree day. A few hours to help Murray Lou erase the memory of far too many days of fear. Murray Lou was recruited from a peasant village on a distant island to become the maid of a rich businessman in Manila. Together with Jeanette and Imelda, she found herself locked up, beaten, unpaid, and sexually molested by her new boss. Cora, a government social worker, found them after they escaped, sliding 8 floors down a rope on the outside of an apartment building.
Pauwiin daw po ako ng mama ko kasi may sakit siya. Tapos pagdating ko sa agency, hindi ako pinayagan. Minamaltrato po kami. Mas linihipuan. Yung inano po na yung dibdib namin. Tatakbo na lang po kami, tapos iiyak.
The girl's case has taken months to come to court. It'll take years to resolve. But in the Philippines, the rich and powerful rarely pay the price of their crimes.
Also, he's one of the, the Magic 7 in the rice cartel, and President Ramos knows him very well. So, though he is a very powerful man, we keep on praying, that these children must be given justice.
The story of child labor begins here, on islands like Mindanao. Children have always worked the fields with their parents. Once they were a source of wealth and security, but after years of rural decline, they've become a burden. Many families that want to stay together and make ends meet have to leave the land. They and their children forced to work in jobs no parent would wish upon them. To escape destitution in Mindanao, 60,000 men, women and their children have ascended what's known as the Mountain of Exhaustion. They've come on a gold rush to the mountaintop town of Dilwalwal. In the past decade, the mines at Dilwalwal have made millionaires out of 50 Filipinos. The rest, well, they live on in hope. Everyone works, everyone dreams. Instead of going to school, children scavenge all day amongst the detritus of the mines. 11-year-old Janisto and his brothers spend their days searching for mercury that's spilled during the process of extracting gold from the ore. They earn $4 a day, while the mercury pollutes their bodies, rots their brains, stunts their growth. Giolito makes up to $8, working sun-up to sundown, collecting lost and discarded sacks for the gold mines. And Joel can make the same, retrieving gold ore that spills beneath the wheels of endless streams of trucks. But the real money, perhaps as much as $20 a day, is made hundreds of meters below ground. These boys have all been doing a man's work since they were 11. They're aventeros, frontline workers in the bowels of the earth. They work in extraordinary conditions. Here it is hot and humid. The stench of dynamite and of smoke pervades the tunnels. They'll hack at the rock face for up to 12 hours. Ray is the youngest, 14 years old, 3 years a minor. Driven on not just by his parents' poverty, but by a dream that is seemingly common to all working children.
Kaya ako bilis trabaho, maski rin tapos parang tabang ko sa ginikanan.
Ako ang bisyo sa kinabuhi para magtrabaho ko dere para magkuhan, para makatigong ko kwarta, para maka-eskwela ko, makahumang ko sa akong pa-eskwela, makuha na akong kurso na akong pagkapay na.
At night, miners emerge from the tunnels of the mountain of exhaustion to watch young girls emerging into their adolescence, shedding their clothes and selling their bodies for the miners' pleasure. Girls at the Mountain Valley Club are no older than 17. This one is just 15. They're amongst as many as 60,000 Filipino girls, not yet 18, who are known officially as CSWs, commercial sex workers. For the children of those who do remain on the land, there are more insidious enticements. A legion of employment agents prowl isolated, poverty-stricken villages, luring youngsters to the big cities with the false promise of easy jobs and good money. Desperately poor, utterly naive, Manang Masada has seen 4 of her 6 children leave for the cities before she realized the terrible consequences.
Upat man na sila dito Manila, nya kuan ang akong nadala duha na bilin dito. Ang isa ka bata na ako nga dito sa Kabanatuan ug kato akong daga akong gikuha dito sa Kabanatuan. Tapos wa ihatag sa ahensya kay ipalukat og 3,000 kapin.
The children's father is a simple man, easily duped into letting them go, now shamed by his failure to take care of them.
Abang sa ko kay ang anak dito karon natapot lawas na lang dito sa Kabanatuan. Kay nilayas man siya siyang gitarboan kay gidaog-daog ko no nilayas. Tapos na nag-istorya na akong amigos kabadbaran na nakita niya tapot lawas na kuno dito sa Kabanatuan ang bata.
One of the 4 Masada children taken by agents was shipped here 18 months ago. For a 13-year-old country boy, Manila was as alluring and ultimately as illusory as the El Dorado of Dilwalwal. This is the Masada's son, Brian.
Sabi ng recruiter sa amin, maganda. Tapos pagbigyan kami ng magandang trabaho, tapos paraling kami. Tapos dahil naniwala ako, dahil kain ko siya. Tapos sabi niya nga...
Within days of leaving his village in Mindanao, Brian Masada was under lock and key, working in slave labor conditions in a bleach factory.
Pumayag na rin ako, tapos nakakit yung mamagulang ko nga...
Ulam namin, sardinas na hinaluan ng mga gulay nga bulok. Tapos lalo na kung kami hindi kami makagising kaagad sa umaga, yung amo namin gigisingin kami ng baril. Tapos yung katawan namin, kami makatayo kaagad. Tapos yung mata namin,
Luck turned for Brian when the bleach factory was raided in an operation mounted jointly by the government and charities backed by the UN Children's Fund. But dogged by a lack of funds, shortage of manpower and corrupt officials, and outwitted by secretive factory owners, such raids are few and far between.
Okay, Okay, bottom line, how much money is put into this? And you see very limited resources devoted to this problem. One thing you can say that at least they have said something about it. There is legislation on child and the trafficking of children for employment. There is legislation on the protection of children. But there are really not enough resources put to the problem, maybe because of competing priorities, etc. But there is really very little that is being done, I would say.
Like Brian Marsada, this boy has found sanctuary at Kamalayan, a haven for the few children who are rescued.
Nakakulong kami doon. Yung kwarto namin na malit lang yun, pero double deck lang yun.
Joel has just escaped from a piggery, and he tells Kamalayan's manager the name of the agency that lured him to the city. It is instantly familiar. The Reliance Employment Agency. It's not hard to find Reliance. Tucked away in a seedy part of Manila, the agency has already once had its license suspended for illegally luring children from the islands. But its owner is already back in business.
Ay inaalaala rin namin, siyempre, yan ang aming hanap buhay. Inaalaala rin namin na itong mga mahihirap na ito, na below 18, na nagpipresenta sa aming mga place of recruitment, na hindi naman namin ma-recruit sapagkat ayaw na nga namin ng below 18, baka lumarga na lang papunta rito sa Maynila, kanila na lang sarili, baka lalong kapahamakan ang mangyari.
Anything but remorseful, Mr. Alinea claims he's no culprit. In fact, he says he's more victim than the children themselves.
I think as long as there's a demand for these children, and as long as there's a supply of children wanting to do this type of work, it will be very difficult for employment agencies not to deal with, not to engage in the trade. As long as there's money involved, it's very hard to look away and sort of say we won't touch the children. Also, they'll say, well, we didn't know they were below 15, and the system of registration, birth registration is weak. They can fake the certificates. So it'll still be there for some time.
Ang nanay at tatay mo, di malaman ang gagawin, minamasdan.
At Kamalayan, Brian Masada sings a popular Filipino song. It's about a son lost to his parents.
Ang iyong nanay sa pagtimpla ng gatas mo.
They're all children who've been rescued, yet they are far from saved.
Yung namang tuwang-tuwa sa'yo.
Children like Brian are trapped by a double jeopardy. For despite their ordeals, they are bitten by the lure of the city. The Brian who travels home to Mindanao with us is no longer the same simple boy that his parents remember.
Pasunanong yato ko dito. Pagliko na to daw, nung natadaan nga dito.
A lost son returns home, but it is not the joyous event that it should be. The isolated hamlet seems more impoverished than he remembered. He is embarrassed, he is out of place, and he is confused. The change is something a father recognizes immediately.
Balik day kag Manila day. Ang si Romel. Tana, dada na.
Pero murag nabago na siya nya, murag siksi na po kay naana may yang bisti pero sa una wala man gyud kay problema may ba wala kapalit og nga bisti mga maayo.
Ang gusto ko nga te, papasok ako ng isang gusto ko lahat ng tao mabigyan ng dahil sa mahirap da kung gusto ko nga
lahat ng mahirap, yung mga bata nila gusto ko magbalik ng pag-aaral at saka paglaki nila, mabigyan sila ng magandang trabaho. Ano. So sana yung mahirap, dahil kawawa naman, at saka kami kawawa naman.